Welcome back. In this episode, we will cover data types. Values throughout Elyx must be of a specific type, like text, number, boolean, which is just a true or false value, date, null, which is an explicitly empty value. For example, for when you want to empty a cell on a table or a value in Elyx, instead of giving it an empty text or a 0 for numbers, null makes it explicitly empty. Values data types are relevant because in order for values to be connected and passed from one operation to another, they must be compatible. For example, if the output of an operation is a number, but the next operation requires a text input, we won't be able to connect them. There are operations you can use to try to convert a value from one data type to another. For example, it is simple to convert a number into a text. We simply create a text value with the characters found in the original number by using the convert value to text operation. But it is not so simple to turn a text value into a number. But the convert value to number operation will try anyway. For example, it will turn a text value 90 into the number 90. But if you give it some arbitrary or non-convertible text, it will fail. A data type can also be given the any value type. You can also assemble more complex data types. For example, a unique identifier is a 36-character long, specifically formatted string of text, often used to achieve a very unique, hard-to-guess text value. There is an operation you can use to generate a unique identifier called generate random UUID v4, which is the technical name for the unique identifier format that Elyx uses. At the end of the day, it is just a text value. But if you select unique identifier rather than text, Elyx will help with the validation. We also have the enumeration type, which is a text value, but only one of a given list of options. For example, a property named department could have a text value which must be exactly one of the allowed ones, like sales, marketing, engineering, etc. We would use an enumeration type for that. You can also make any data type a list by checking the list value checkbox. You can also add OR data types. For example, this value can be text or number, or combine it with the list. You could say this value is a list of number and text values. But if you make each of the sub data types in the OR group a list rather than the top one, you would be defining this value as a list of numbers or list of texts, meaning the list value could never have both number and text values in it at the same time. Finally, you can choose data structure types. The most basic one is the data structure option, but you can also choose any valid definition node from the canvas. For example, our previously defined blocks or users tables. A data structure is a complex value which contains fields of values, rather than just a single value. The fields themselves could contain other nested data structures, creating a multi-level, deeply nested, complex value. As the name indicates, it is a way of structuring complex data further than just a simple text, number, or another primitive value type. We call them key value pairs because each of their fields has a name or key and a corresponding value. For example, each of our blog post entries, as defined in our SQL database table node, would look something like this, where the keys never change, but each blog post entry would have different values under those keys. We can see this reflected in the canvas if we introduce our next node type, variables. Variables are a node whose whole purpose is to store data temporarily and let you access it and modify it somewhere else in the canvas. But for now, that is all for this episode. We will cover variables in our next episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon so YouTube notifies you when Elyx posts more tutorials or announcements. See you in the next video.